I'm going to record this so that you can have access to it later.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Zoom's a cool software like that. And then I'm going to screen share. My screen share. Okay, so how do I hide this? This is so annoying. I don't know if you could see it, but I hide video panel. That doesn't sound
nah, I can't over there.
All right, that's cool. Okay, move your picture to. All right, so this is your admin, fresh, nothing in it. You have the login credentials for it. So the first thing we want to do is put something on the calendar, right? Put a class schedule up. Once we have all the components in, super easy. I just go to live schedule. I click on add to calendar. I click to add class, and I just fill out the form. Start time, end time, the dates. Now, classes, locations, waivers, and instructors are the components that we're going to add first, so that once we have all these, we just fill out the form as many times as we need. Okay. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to, a lot of the time today, we're going to operate in this left side menu, and we go down to setup and manage. And the first thing we're going to look at is classes. So we're going to fill out a class, click the plus button. Anytime you're adding something in fitDEGREE, if you can add it to whatever screen you're on, there's always going to be a plus button in the top right that says a plus button, add to calendar, create something, whatever the verbiage is, top right. So share, you don't have a schedule yet, I'm assuming, but share with me a class you're going to have.
You can just call it Leg DAZE, LEGDAZE.
And is this all caps?
Yeah, that's how it's.
That's the way you filled it out on the form.
Yeah.
All right, so the registration opens options.
Okay.
Always open, or you can limit it. Like I know some people like to do like a week before or so. Yeah. Basically, so that people can't register 3 months in advance and forget about it.
Start booking everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any preference on that?
I'd say probably a week. Yeah.
Yeah, a week is usually and you can always come back and edit these.
Okay.
Registration closes. Pretty much, can they register after the class has started? Something I'd like to update. So I don't really see, we'll just do it at the start of the event is when registration closes, that people can't register late and then walk into class late.
Okay.
Difficulty level. So we can categorize these by difficulty level. This is good because it'll show on the mobile app, but it'll also gather statistics. So you could make everything all levels, but I would recommend if you have different, difficulty levels, making them beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And then you might have a couple classes that are all levels, but you'll be able to get more data if you can separate a few out that are specific for one.
That's cool. Okay.
So for now, do you want to just make this one all levels? Or is this?
Yeah, I would say all levels, yeah.
Okay. And then this class requires payment. This is going to be important because this is how we get paid. So I click that checkbox. We have two options. So allow the app user options to pay when they arrive. Pretty much they can reserve their spot in class without paying ahead of time. Okay. So is that something you want to offer?
No, I want them to, as soon as they book, they pay.
Yeah. They can still look at the schedule and they could walk in and pay when they get there, but we're basically preventing them from being able to register without paying.
Yeah.
So now the other one is allow drop-ins. This is where we set the price for the class. So if you click this, that means I could pay $15, $20 for the class. If you don't click this, it means that they have to use a membership or a class pass to get into the class, meaning they got to invest more than just the drop-in fee to come to my studio. We've seen studios go either way with this.
Okay.
So which one do you want to do?
I haven't decided. Yeah, you can leave it blank for now.
Okay, that's fine. Description, I'm just going to put in right here, this is a description, but you can put something for your members to see.
Okay. Yeah, I'll mess with this later.
Yeah. And then class group. So class group's a big thing that's going to keep recurring around the platform. A class group, the simplest way to put it is that we're combining a group of classes, obviously, to make uniform with payment and paying out instructors. So if you make a class pass, you can make a class pass, for example, your core classes as well as your premium classes, and they might have different payments. Or for example, your instructors might get paid differently for one group of classes compared to another group of classes.
Okay.
So if you're thinking it's the same price for every class, we just make the class group core classes.
Okay. Core classes?
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you want, we could change the name, but normally I just call it the core class group. And the idea is that if you were to ever add, I just call it a premium class group, then you just call the other one premium, where this class, you got to pay more.
Okay.
So for example, like in a yoga studio, you might have your slow flow, but then you introduce aerial yoga. And aerial yoga requires equipment and more training, so it costs more and you pay your instructors more for it.
I see. And that's just labeling that group of classes. I see.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm going to click create. We got the title, Leg DAZE, the class group it's in, the difficulty level, the description. Okay. If I want to edit anything, I can click these three dots. View, edit, delete, or I just click anywhere in here. It pulls this up. If I want to edit, I click this pencil and go in. Pretty straightforward.
Yep. Yeah, it's very easy.
Okay, cool. The next thing we want to do is to put a class on the schedule, we also need an instructor. So I've already created you, but I would go in the setup and manage. I'd go to team members and I'd click the plus button up here. Mm-hmm. And then I'd fill out some forms. So the biggest one to highlight here, the biggest question to highlight here is the role. So we have 3 roles. You won't see fitDEGREE admin, that's me. Okay. You got a FitSpot admin, a team member, and a manager. A FitSpot admin is you. You can do anything. You can create classes, cancel classes, manual discounts for your friends, whatever. Your team members are meant to just facilitate current clients. They can't do anything funky. They can't do a manual discount. They can't cancel classes. They can't create classes. All they can do is register people for classes and check them out for the prices that you've already assigned.
Got it.
Now your manager is a little bit of a hybrid. They can do everything the FitSpot admin can except view your revenue reports.
Okay.
So they just can't see how much money you're making, but if you just want to assign someone to do, create your class schedule. If a client has a complaint, they want to do a manual discount of some sort. They can make that adjustment.
Okay.
So let's just say I make this person a team member. Do you have any instructors you're going to have, or are you going to teach all the classes to start?
Yeah, I have one instructor. Yeah.
Okay, let's fill them out. So what's their first name, last name?
Tequila, Takeeelah.
Is that how?
Yeah, it's Takeeelah. Yeah, I can go in and mess with it later. I'm trying to think.
Last name?
Redrick. Reddrick.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to auto-generate a password. You can edit this later. Okay. If I want someone to be able to be a class instructor, I just click this. Yeah. If they want them to be a one-on-one service provider, I click this. Okay. I don't know if she's either. You could mess with these just so they populate all those. Yeah. Yeah. You can also add a profile picture. Don't want to forget that, so that people can see who they are in the mobile app. I'm going to click next. You type out a username. So I am just going to use her first and last name. Tequila Redrick. You can put in an about me. This is displayed on the mobile app. Class pay scale is what we're going to go over next, what we pay them. One-on-one pay scale, same thing. And then you can also add phone numbers, emails, and certifications. These can be either something you show on the mobile app. So when I click add phone number, there's a checkbox to display on the mobile app. Same thing with the certification. Cool. You can show these on the mobile app, or you can use it as kind of like your own directory. Imagine we're a year from now, you got 10 instructors. It's just a way for you to store all the phone numbers and emails in one place. And then if you ever need to contact them, you just go into your little directory.
Okay.
So I'm going to click create. It auto generates this password with this username. Done. All you got to do, click the 3 dots, change password is one of them, deactivate that person, or edit them. Edit brings you right back into this form. Change whatever you need to.
Simple.
Cool?
Yep.
All right. So going down the route of putting something on the calendar, so we want to create a location. Now, the idea of this is that you have multiple rooms in your studio, and you need to clarify which one. Do you have multiple rooms in your studio, or just the main room?
Just the main room, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to call it main room or anything else?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, main room. Lastly, a waiver. So waivers, in my setup and manage, I go down to here. Do you have a waiver on hand?
Not right now. I'll have to get one. Yeah, just
That's
change.
not. So I'm just gonna. So it's simple as just like a Word document. I'm just gonna put my title in. We're gonna call it waiver, incomplete. So for your sake, and then the waiver text, just say this is a waiver.
Okay.
Gonna click create. That's as easy as to click the waiver. When you come back in, just edit and then change these. And then you can also you can view everyone's signature on their profile, but you can also view all the signatures here. And it would just be the name, the username, the date they signed. So someone says, maybe you compare how many total users you have to how many waivers you have signed, something like that.
Okay.
Like that. Okay, so now I go back to my live schedule. This fast icon up here brings me back there. Because the two most things you're going to do, live schedule, create a cart. They're both up there. So we've created all these components. So I go to add to calendar. I'm going to add a class. The start time, let's just make this for Wednesday morning. So we'll say 6 a.m. I'm going to say it goes to 7 a.m. This repeats forever. You can also just make it a particular date range. So I'll click this repeats forever. The start date of this is on Wednesday, starts on Wednesday, 9/11. That's where we're going to make this for Saturday. That happens as long as it's the same class, the same time, and the same instructor. You might want to click multiple days of the week, right?
Okay.
So I say this class happens, so I'm going to make it Saturday and Sunday. Starts on Saturday. Now I just fill in this form. The class, leg days. The instructor, you. The location, main room, max attendance, 10. Waiver. The waiver we just created. I'm already done. So you see, we're just setting up all the components for it. So that once I get to here, boom, up in a flash.
What's the tag? What is that?
Yep. So think of the idea of this live schedule you can create draft schedules. So if I wanted to make this, let's just say I'm going to make the tag now, and I'm going to call it Fall 2019 schedule. I click create. I want to display it on the app, but I don't want to publish now. If you click publish now, no point of a tag. This is just saving the draft. If I don't click publish now, I'm now saving this because I don't want to publish my classes until I have the full fall 2019 schedule up. And you could think the same way of, I put my schedule up for the rest of 2019, and I don't want to put my 2020 schedule up until, December 15th or something.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I'm going to click create, and I'm going to view this in the month view, and you can see there's no classes on the schedule. If I click this unpublish button, it'll show me, wait a second. It should have shown me that class. Let's see, manage unpublished classes. Fall 2019 schedule. Repeats every Saturday, Sunday, starting on the 14th. Okay, not sure why that's not coming up as unpublished. But the idea is I created this. I'm going to have to look into that. But the idea is I created this draft. Now I'm going to go manage unpublished classes. I go to the tag title Fall 2019 schedule. And I'm just going to click publish all. Yes, publish. And now In August. And now maybe I was in the wrong month. Now I go and I see every Saturday and Sunday we have leg days at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Simple enough. Any questions?
Nah, this is very easy. Yeah.
Yeah, just literally everything's in the top right. Fill out a form.
I like it like this. This is so much easier.
Perfect. Okay, so the next thing I want to cover is paying your team, right? Because as time goes on, you're going to expand your team. You're going to want to pay them out. I'm going to go to Setup and Manage, Team Member Pay Scales. Class pay scales, one-on-one pay scales. First, we'll cover class pay scales, and this is why we created class groups. It's going to come back in pay scales. It's going to come back in class passes and memberships.
Okay.
Because the idea is I'm going to create a pay scale for the core class group, and as I create new classes, as long as I put them in the core class group, they will update to the pay scales and the memberships. So I don't have to constantly go back and forth and be like, oh, shit, I added that class, now I got to add it 3 other places.
Okay.
So I click this plus button. I'm going to call this, let's just say standard instructor pay scale. And this is the idea of you have a beginner one, an intermediate one, an advanced one. For now, I'm just going to call it standard.
Okay.
I'm going to add the rule, and the add the rule is going to be the core class pay rule. So this is the pay rule for the core class group.
Okay. Got it.
So how much do you think you're going to pay Tequila for each of her classes?
You can say 30.
Great. Oh, you're generous.
30.
So I maybe that gets an edit.
Yeah, most people are 20, 25.
Yeah, you pay them while they don't leave. So
Yeah.
base pay, $30 per class. And if there's no attendance, so you can say if there's no attendance, maybe I pay her $10.
All right.
So I don't know if that's something you want to implement, but if you want to pay her the same, you just make sure you put in 30 there as well.
Got it. That's cool.
Now if you include bonuses, right, we can cap the total bonus pay to say, hey, the most you can get paid out in bonuses is $20. So at least I know for myself, you're getting $50 per class at most.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 common bonuses we see are enable per check-in bonus or enable total check-ins bonus. So do you have an idea of how you would pay bonuses out, or do you plan to include bonuses?
Not on that. Not as far as teaching. No, not right now.
Okay. That's totally cool. So I'm just going to uncheck that. That means we're just paying her $30 per class. If no one shows up, she's still getting $30. I'm going to click create. Now it brings me back to this screen. I have a class group, the core class group, my pay rules, the core class pay rule. Now I have to assign the pay rule to the class group. Now core class group, core class pay rule. Boom. So we just match those together.
Okay.
Now we'll cover one-on-one pay scales as well. Actually, first we want to, let me take a step back. Now, one-on-one services, do you plan on offering those right away, or is that going to be something later?
Later on, yeah, there'll be some
in
there, but I'll mess with that a little bit later once I figure it out.
Okay, that sounds great. So I'm not even going to waste our time explaining that. When that comes up, you just let me know, and I'll either shoot some videos over your way that we've created, or we could jump on a screen share and figure it out. Okay. Now I need to assign this pay scale to Tequila. So what I'm going to do is go back to team members. I'm going to click on her. I'm going to click edit, click the next screen, and in the class pay scale, now we have our option of standard instructor pay scale. That's just attached. So that when I go to check my reports of team member payouts, I'll be able to see total classes taught, total events taught, total one-on-ones taught, total series taught, total check-ins. This is what I owe her for this date range I've created. So when I click into her, I can see, oh wait, that's you, no class pay scale set. When I click into her, I see that the standard instructor's pay scale is set, and this will tell me once she's taught a couple of classes, how much I owe her for each class.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool. So any questions on the team member payouts?
Nope.
Cool. Easy enough. All right. The last main thing we want to cover is how to get paid, right? That's important. Set up and manage. The two ways to get paid for class passes other than drop-ins, or two ways to get paid for classes other than drop-ins are class passes and memberships. So I'm going to click on class passes. This is super easy to create. Plus button, title. So do you know a class pass you want to offer?
No, not. Are you talking about ClassPass like the app? The
Not
class.
like the app. Like if a membership is $100 a month for unlimited classes, maybe I offer a 10 class pass for $150.
Oh, the packs.
Packs, yeah, that's what it's
Yeah, you
also.
could go. Yeah, I'll do like 10 for 150. I'll change it. Yeah.
Okay, so 10 class,
Okay, I
yeah,
got what this is now. Okay, cool.
sure. Number of uses 10.
Yeah,
Pass
got it.
expires. Maybe we
Got it.
make that like 90 for a 10.
Okay.
Price 150. Visibility for sale on app and admin. You could make it for admin only if you needed to for some reason, or you could just mark it as not for sale if you don't ever want anyone to see it again.
Now, what does that mean? An admin. Where is this?
This is the admin. So whenever something's for sale, it's always on the admin.
Okay.
Pretty much like when someone comes into the studio, I'm in my admin website, which we're in now. Is it available? So it's just to be very clear that it's always on the admin if it's for sale. The only difference is it on the app?
Oh, okay, okay. So that's basically the admin is if I had, let's say, iPads in the gym that they could use, that type of thing.
Yes.
Versus the app. Okay, okay.
Yep, exactly. So we'll make this for sale on the app and admin. Yeah, think of in studio, out of studio.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
That's easier. Temperatures. I want you to ignore this for now, but know that it's coming later. We pretty much tried to rush a feature out, and then we realized that when we were explaining it, it created more headaches than it was worth.
Okay,
but
is that people that are close to buying?
Yes.
Pretty much.
So think of
yeah.
Now the only thing I would say is, no, it's not even relevant. Don't even bother with this. But know that this feature will be coming soon, where we're pretty much feeding. So cold is I've never entered your studio. Fire is I'm on a monthly recurring membership. Now your goal is to feed them from cold to fire.
Yeah.
And what we were thinking was that you assign what makes them cool. So maybe a 10 class pass makes them cool. Mm-hmm. And then a 3-month membership makes them warm. And then a 12-month membership makes them hot. But ideally, I want them on a monthly recurring continual membership. Goes on forever. They're on auto pay. That's when they're on fire. That's our favorite member. Okay. So what we want to do is we made it manually, made it more headache. But what we want to do is do this automatically for you so that you can look at your funnel and say, why do I have a bunch of people that are warm? Oh, that's because they only buy class passes. They never buy memberships. So, how do I make a promotional offer to get people on more memberships? Okay. Oh, I just zoomed in on accident. Hold on. All right. So you're going to skip the temperatures here. You're going to skip how it progresses them. Mm-hmm. The next two checkboxes are, can this be shared? So, for example, my girlfriend and I want to share a class pass. Can we do that? So I'm just going to leave that unchecked for now because that's more like a couple's class pass or a couple's membership. And then can only purchase once. So maybe you make a BOGO deal, and that's something that your members can purchase one time. After that, they can't purchase it again. So I just click that option so that once it's purchased on their account, they'll never see that option again.
Got it. Okay. Now let me ask you again about can be shared. Does that mean, what does that mean as far as the actual class pass is concerned? That it can be shared, the passes with another person to use those?
Yep. So I could go on a profile and I could say that Nick is in a relationship with Alexis. Like literally you just make a relationship between two people. And then and then you click the boxes of Let me just show you so it'll be even easier.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
yeah. Okay, so just wrapping up ClassPass before we jump to the can be shared. This is the idea of class groups. So you can check individual classes, but that means every time you create a class, you got to come back, or you just do the core class group. And now every time I add a class to the core class group, it's automatically put into this ClassPass.
Right.
Click create. All right, so I'm going to create 2 people. So I'm going to create new user, and I'm just going to add you. I'm just going to make this up for now.
All right, no problem.
And I'm going to create, I'll just create me. So I don't come up, so I do Nick, Dennis, nick.dennis@gmail.com. You collect more information like phone number, gender, date of birth, ethnicity, but we just put, the minimum first name, last name, email, so that you can, decide if you want more information or not. Click create. Now I'm going to go to my users, and I'm going to say Nick, and I'm going to go to his about me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all this data, right? First name, last name, username, birthday, last login, email, phone number, address, marketing preferences, so they could turn off their email and text message marketing, stuff like that. And then here, add relationship. So I'm going to add the relationship, and I'm going to say is the friend of Ramisi. Now I choose the options. Nick shares item with Ramisi. Ramisi shares items with Nick.
Mm-hmm.
If I check these both ways, that means if I buy a ClassPass, you get access to it. And if you buy a ClassPass, I get access to it.
Okay.
So probably something more along the lines of, so I go to create my items. I'm going to create a cart with Nick, ClassPass, 10 ClassPass. I'm going to manually edit this down to 0 so that you don't get weird statistics. Process order. View Nick's profile. So I have a 10 class pack. And if I go to your profile, I see that you also have a 10 class pack.
That's cool.
And it says that it's shared from Nick.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So basically, let's say you could be buying a package from me, and then we just work off of that one package.
Yep, exactly.
That's cool. That's cool.
So
Other softwares do that, do they? Other apps?
We heard about it from MindBody. That's all I've heard of it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that was possible. That's cool. I like that.
You know why? Because they make it so damn hard to use. But the few people that knew about it were like, I love this because my niche is a lot of couples.
Yeah,
I want to create couples membership. So they gave us the idea. But like when we scanned MindBody system, we couldn't find it.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool.
Easy enough. Yeah. Okay. So we created a ClassPass. The other way to get paid is a membership. So I'm in Setup and Manage. I click on Memberships, plus button up top. 2 types of memberships, right? Continual or fixed length. Mm-hmm. So I want to build this for 3 months, or I want to make it unlimited.
Okay.
So let's just say I'm going to call this a continual membership, unlimited classes. And I say this membership gives you unlimited classes. Visibility, like we talked about, for sale on app and admin. Don't worry about the temperatures. Can this be shared? Can it not be shared? Waiver. You can also make a new waiver and say this is the membership contract waiver, which means they'll have to sign this before they can purchase the membership.
Okay.
Now pricing. This is where it gets a little variable. So I'm going to say bill every 1 month. The payment amount's going to be $100, and it's on continual payments. And you always get a summary in the top right. So it's basically create a membership. The length is continual. The payment amount is $100.
Cool.
If I were to change this and maybe say fixed number of payments, bill every 1 month, the number of payments is 3. Membership length, 3 months. Payment amount, $100.
Got it.
And if I want, I can also allow them to pay all up front. So let's say it's $100 a month. That means it's $300 over 3 months. But if you pay up front, you can pay $275.
Got it.
So now you give them the option at checkout to do this either way.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
No, that's pretty straightforward.
Awesome. So I'm just going to change that back to continual payments. And like I said, you always get the summary in the top right, so you'll see what the heck you actually meant to do.
Okay.
Discounted pricing period is an option. You can say, hey, the first 3 payments are $80. Maybe that's a special you have going on. Same thing. That summary comes up. You have 3 discounted payments. So now you know that's a little like a business model strategy. I want you to sign up for a continual length membership, and what I'll do is I'll discount the first couple of months.
Got it.
Registration fee. I know some people charge this. Hey, it's $50 to sign up for our membership. Not as common in studio fitness, but still an option. And then the option of can only purchase once is there too.
Okay.
Now, next thing is included classes, right? Because we got to make a membership that has some value to it. So I click included classes, and I want to add a class package. I click that class package. Members may attend how many classes per month? So you could change that and say you can only do 10 classes per month. You could do 4 classes per week. So you can really tweak memberships to either be unlimited for the month, which is, your standard, or you can make different packages depending on, maybe someone's like, well, I can only come twice a week anyway, and I don't want to pay for the unlimited classes. So great. I make a membership that gets 2 classes per week. Those 2 classes gets reset every Monday morning.
Oh, okay.
The value per use, if you want to put some data on it, so you can say that like a drop-in class is $15 per class. So, that's the value per class in my studio. And anytime there's like something you wouldn't expect, there's a little question mark. I hover over that question mark, and it gives a little description from our team.
Okay.
And then same thing. We go back to class groups. We have our class group. So I was going to select core class group. Every time I add something in the core class group, it gets added here as well. So this membership, we called it unlimited. So I'm just going to edit that, and I'm going to say unlimited per month, update classes, membership length continual, and then all I do is click create. I see the detail here. Now, another thing I want to mention is all of our pricing objects, right? The whole platform is really big on sharing. All of our pricing objects have this share button. If I click this share button, it gives me a link. If I copy that link and put it in a new tab, so you want to share this to social media, via text message, via email, whatever, they click on the button, it brings them right to a cart with this membership.
Oh, okay.
So I just click get, and I start going through this whole process, continue to sign waiver, sign my waiver, next, right? And they just keep going through this flow.
It's really cool.
Nice.
Now, the text messages, of course, that's automated. That gets sent out from you guys to remind them their class is coming up or whatever. Is that correct?
The class reminder? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. That'll be, if they sign up more than 3 days in advance, it'll give them a push notification 1 day before and an hour before. And if they sign up less than 3 days in advance, it'll just give them the 1 push notification that an hour before a class, just not to bombard them.
Okay. Is it a push notification? Is the same as a text? Is that the same thing?
No, a push notification.
Drop down, right? A little drop down notification thing that pops up at the top. Is that right?
Yes.
All this crap all this stuff.
Yes. I was looking to see if I have one. Yep, exactly. So it still gets to their home screen for them to know.
Okay, cool. That's perfect then.
So I covered what I needed to cover today to get you started. We know how to put classes on the schedule. We know how to make instructors and pay them. and we know how to set up pricing objects for our clients to pay us.
Okay.
Do you have any specific questions? Because at this point, I would say I'm going to turn it over to you, and you're going to not right now, on your free time.
I'll mess with this. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Mess with it. Keep filling in the information, and then whenever you're ready, because when's the studio launch in November, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to bombard you like next week and be like, "Hey, did you do your homework?" But the game plan now